There's a moment when eyes are on you. The air sharpens. Something in the belly notices. And in this moment, a deeper part of you remembers you are safe now. Your breath knows what to do. It softens in your chest. It rolls warmth through your ribs. The air begins to shift. Every cell begins to settle like dust caught in a gentle beam of light. You feel the floor holding you. The ground says yes to you. Your spine rests in its natural curve. Your jaw loosens. Your shoulders hang, easy, unbothered. You exist here as you are, welcomed. This body belongs. These eyes belong. This energy belongs. Your nervous system becomes an instrument of precision, tuned to peace. The world begins to organize itself around your regulated presence. You are here, anchored, clean, whole. You feel what it means to have nothing to prove. You remember what it feels like to be the one choosing, overreacting. Every moment you are choosing to stay with yourself. You are calm. You are curious. You are in control. And this is your natural state. There's a place inside of you that remembers what it was like to be fully online, completely visible, present and watched, studied, judged, sometimes praised, sometimes attacked. The screen became a mirror, a stage, a threat. During that chapter, you built a digital self with care and strategy. Every word chosen, every photo calibrated. You knew how to hold attention, how to stir desire, how to stay ahead of the gaze. And behind the scenes, your system learned to monitor every like, every follower, every DM, every post. Every time your name was spoken, your heart listened. Your body stayed alert, hyper-tuned to potential danger, tracking mood shifts in anonymous comments, measuring silence, anticipating cruelty, reading into every number. And in that life, it made sense. Your survival depended on being ahead of the storm. Your nervous system worked beautifully. It read energy through a screen. It calculated risk in seconds. It helped you dodge humiliation. It helped you keep the money flowing. It protected your identity. It kept you alive. That brilliance stays, but the urgency dissolves now. You are no longer living inside that window of risk. Now your body listens to your breath, not your notifications. Now your body belongs to you. Your system begins to unhook from the cycles of refreshing, checking, tightening, bracing, algorithms of strangers and shadow accounts. Your safety is now larger than the screen. The world outside the screen is more real than ever. And those gazes no longer define your value. The part of you that once needed to know what they were saying now releases that job. The escorts, the back talk, the rumors, the needing to know what they were saying, what they thought, in order for you to be safe. It leaves. You're able to let go of the subtweets, of the sentences, of the cruel messages, of every distant signal that someone disapproved, because you live in a new context now. You hold the pen, you create the environment, and dear, darling Becca, you are worlds away from that world, that escalating world of pain and suppression, of hypervigilance. You no longer live there, sweetheart. And your powerful subconscious mind listens to this. From this moment forward, your internal system begins rewiring. Your breath becomes the authority. Your sense of safety is greater than anything that others might say. You are deeply protected, completely feel free to be seen. Your body rests in this truth. You already survived. There's a part of you that still watches the past like a scene you wish you could re-edit. You see the words you typed, the things you said, the trust you gave, the photos you shared, the softness you were still learning how to protect. And the ache rises because you didn't walk in prepared, knowing the codes, seeing the patterns. You arrived with wounds still open, and you showed up anyways. You gave so much, you spoke so freely, you believed so quickly, you performed, and you reached when reaching was unsafe. And the world responded in waves that carved you. The women looked away, the groups shut you out, the invitations dried up, the silence sharpened. And through it all, somewhere inside, you blamed yourself. You called it sloppy, you called it stupid. You replayed the scenes where you overshared and winced. You wished you had been the colder, smarter, and more strategic one. You wished you had stayed small enough to stay safe. But now you release that version of the story, because the woman you were then carried a level of courage that still astounds time. She was broken and still showed up. She was fractured and still opened her mouth. She was overwhelmed and still offered her truth. She had no map or protection, and still she entered. So now wrap her in something soft. Recognize her chaos as survival, her openness as instinct, and her effort as sacred. She walked into a world that was not built to hold her, and she still learned to walk, and she felt it all, and she made it here to the woman blossoming today. So instead of calling her embarrassing or weak, or naming her mistakes as character flaws, you call her holy and brave. You call her the beginning of the woman who now knows how to stay intact, who did the time and gathered the resources to become her most magnetic version yet. And from this moment forward, your nervous system now holds you. And instead of judging for being unpolished or punishing for being raw, you release every self-judgment wrapped in hindsight, because you already lived it, you already transmuted it, and now you hold only the wisdom of the experience. Your timeline smooths, your breath deepens, your body lifts, and the past organizes itself around your grace. The way you showed up becomes part of your medicine. The memory exists free of sting. The reflection exists free of burns. You are already whole. You are already forgiven. You are already clean. There's a part of you that remembers exactly how high the stakes once felt, being found out, being exposed, being doxxed, being named, not by people who knew you, but by strangers with power, anonymous faces, fake accounts, escort names, escort photos, vindictive voices, hateful women. They were always watching, or at least it felt that way. One wrong post, one loose thread, one forgotten tag, one person with too much time and too much rage. Your image, your name, your body, any of it could be used to humiliate you, to collapse everything you'd built, to destroy your safety, your future, your relationships, your chance to ever be respected again. That fear lived in your cells. It trained your behavior. It shaped your decisions. It kept you scanning for threats. You were always 10 steps ahead because you had to be. You built brilliant systems of privacy and performance. You mastered silence. You mastered seduction. You mastered erasure. You created alternate names, filtered photos, ghost accounts, and mental escape routes. You built a fortress, and now you step outside of it. Because now you live in a reality where your safety is no longer dependent on staying hidden. Your identity belongs to you. Your body belongs to you. Your story is yours forever. In this new reality, your system begins to breathe again. The fear that once kept you small begins to melt slowly, steadily, beautifully. You no longer feel a shadow behind your success, a threat behind your joy. You no longer brace when someone Googles your name or anticipate betrayal from people around you, people observing you from the outside. The old anticipation dissolves, the body begins to expect safety, the mind begins to expect peace, the heart begins to expect freedom. You now live in a timeline where everything that happens only made you wiser, sharper, more powerful, more radiant. The old fear becomes obsolete. Instead of existing in a world where cancellation feels possible, your nervous system now knows you are untouchable. Your presence is clean, your history is sacred, your voice is allowed. And your future is yours to hold forever, because you have already walked through fire and there is nothing left to burn. You came into that world carrying pain that lived in your body long before your first booking, your heart carrying the weight of earlier betrayals. Your boundaries had blurred under pressure for years, and your nervous system already holding 1,000 alarms ringing quietly beneath the surface. You walked in armorless, maskless, free of strategy, just a body, a will to survive, and a hope that maybe something would finally feel like control. Maybe you'd finally be free. You brought yourself exactly as you were, raw, spilled open, brave enough to enter even while shaking. The surface looked warm, smiles, sisterhood, empowerment. It gave the impression of welcome, and for a moment that felt real. You reached for connection, you spoke with honesty, you shared your edges. But beyond that surface, the energy shifted. You began to notice who circled together, who stayed outside. You watched the way softness went unacknowledged, the way you disappeared from conversations, the warmth thinned, the invitations stayed away, the air felt cold. You saw your awareness and moved away and sensed the lack of polish, the rawness, the absence of game, and instead of making room, they reinforced the wall. Your body began to collapse inwards from the quiet echo of the rooms before, the rooms where others looked past you, where you had already learned to shrink. This time it registered more deeply because you were already cracked open. The coldness amplified what you were already holding. You carried the weight of being seen and dismissed, of being present and invisible at the same time, of having a name everyone recognized but no one spoke out loud, with care and kindness. But now your body receives something new. The old frequency dissolves because it is in the past. You return those projections to their source, allowing yourself to put down the consequences of their discomfort, of putting down the definition of defining your value through the silence of those rooms. Your nervous system begins to organize around a new signal. You are free from them. You are free from that past. That past is no longer in your presence. You now live in freedom from that chapter. Every cell receives the truth. You were simply unprotected in a place that required armor. Your body feels it instantly, the way your stomach tightened and your chest hollowed, and your heart read the patterns and understood you had been erased. You felt the shame even without explanation, carrying the weight, the accusations, the judgment, and now your system releases it. You live in a space where energy speaks truth, your name holds strength, your presence stands tall. You carry wisdom now, born from that silence. You surround yourself with people who speak with care, who build connections that thrive on directness, kindness, and mutual respect. You create community from clarity. Your nervous system releases every moment of confusion. You shift from questioning to certainty, from collapse to grounding knowing. Your energy now attracts warmth. Your story now carries authority, and your image reflects sovereignty. You built images that felt alive, beauty that reflected truth, beauty that pulsed with precision, and you felt safe because you controlled it. But something shifted. You stepped away from that world. You stopped performing. You stopped selling your image. You reclaimed your body. And the camera stopped feeling like home. Not all at once. Slowly, your nervous system began to reject the lens. You saw a photo someone else had taken. Your breath caught, your body tense, your face looking like someone else, your shape seemingly unfamiliar, the image distorted, harsh, full, plain, exposed, and underneath that reaction lived something older, a grief, a shame, a fear that others might see you and think, she let herself go. Because the truth is, you take care of yourself. You treat your body with devotion. You feel radiant in person. You know how you look in the mirror, and it is beautiful. But the camera, the one you don't control, still feels like it tells the wrong story. It flattens, it exaggerates, it freezes moments in ways that feel unkind. Your nervous system remembers why. Because once being beautiful on camera came with danger, exposure, obsession, control, surveillance, punishment, and some deeper part of you decided beauty in public is something that is not safe. But now, the lens feels sharp, even when the lighting is soft, even when the angle is fine, and even when you smile. And now your system begins to let go of that code, of living in that story, because your beauty is free of danger now. Your visibility arrives clean. Your image belongs to this moment. You begin to feel a soft presence in the space where fear once lived. You begin to feel kindness towards the part of you that flinched. You begin to allow the camera to see this version of you, the version who glows in real life, who radiates at 40, the version who no longer needs the armor of perfection to feel worthy of the frame. Your body organizes around a new truth. You are safe to be captured. You are safe to be reflected. You are safe to be beautiful on film, on camera. The lens, instead of distorting, becomes soft again. It becomes a witness to the truth of your beauty. Instead of frozen or framed by others' eyes, you now exist fully, seen clearly, gently held, loved deeply, and every part of you begins to trust visibility again. There is a moment when a photo appears and your body responds. Your eyes take it in, and something tightens. Your face seems unfamiliar. Your softness looks heavier. Your glow looks hidden. Your breath lifts. Your posture shifts. A quiet alarm sounds inside of you. This response lives in your body for a reason. There was a time when your image served as protection. You knew exactly how to shape it, how to choose the angle, the tone, the light. You created images that held power, precision, erotic charge. And during that time, your photos worked for you. They built safety, they created admiration, and they offered control. Your beauty lived inside the frame you built, and that frame stayed polished. Then they stepped away. You left the performance and moved into something more whole, and the camera began to feel different. You began to see yourself through someone else's lens, unfiltered, unshaped, uncontrolled, and it created a split. The image felt distance from the self you knew. The softness seemed unfamiliar, and the lines looked sharper, rounder, fuller. This version you saw is different from the one you carry inside. The mind rushed to explain it. Comparisons surfaced, first to others, then to the woman you used to be. the one who posed with grace, the one who always knew how to hold herself in the light, the one who turned beauty into safety. And now your body receives something new. That earlier beauty holds value. She lives fully in her moment. She taught you how to glow. She brought you power and learning and grace. And the woman you are now carries a different kind of magnetism. She carries calm, softness, truth, authenticity. Her beauty lives in presence. Her image arrives with depth. From this moment forward, your body begins to trust the reflection again. You view the photo, your breath stays full, your shoulders remain open, and your gaze stays soft. You recognize your own image, you meet your own eyes. You allow yourself to feel beauty in the exact shape you carry now. Each photo begins a mirror that honors your evolution, the lens responding to your fullness, the frame receiving your glow, your truth, your image to reflect truth, your truth, you trust your presence to remain magnetic, you trust the camera to tell a kind story. Every click becoming a gentle invitation, every frame becoming a space of remembrance. Your beauty arrives clearly, free of control and performance and effort. You are visible, you are sovereign, you are already beautiful in every image that meets your essence. There is a glow beneath your skin that remembers everything. It remembers the eyes that once watched you, the ones that measured, that brought, that built you into fantasy. Your beauty once moved like currency. You shaped it with care. You offered it in perfect doses. You let it slip into the room just enough to keep control. You knew how to drip honey from your voice, how to bend delight, how to walk like an answer. You learned the exact temperature of desire, and for a while that power worked and built attention, safety, money, orbit, admiration. Your body became a place where others placed their want, and slowly, quietly, beauty began to drift away from you. It lived in the image and the gaze and the offer. And when you stepped away, when you stopped selling the glow, something inside you shut down. The beauty stayed, but the excess changed. The sexiness lingered, but no longer felt safe to hold. The glow dimmed, not because your safety stopped trusting it, because once erotic magnetism attracted attention. Once beauty became a magnet for projection, possession, and punishment. Once radiance came with danger, and your body learned it, kept it small, kept it quiet, kept it tucked away. But now everything changes. Now you step back to the glow with full ownership, with your beauty belonging to you. Your softness expands again, your hips remember, your face lifts, your voice carries silk again. Your sexiness becomes internal. You feel in the center of your chest, you feel it in your belly, your throat, your thighs. You feel it behind your eyes. Instead of glowing for survival, you glow because your body loves to shine. You glow because your joy moves through you. You glow because beauty wants to live through your pores. You attract without attachment. You invite without proving. You hold your own attention, and that becomes the source of everything. Your beauty becomes a field, a vibration, a hum that surrounds you, visible to everyone, owned by no one.